Here.
Yep.
I will.
Oh, Mallory, are you keeping minutes for this?
Yes, I will be.
Thank you. So all in favor? Okay, that carries. The adoption of the minutes of March the 2nd. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adopt the minutes, please? Okay, Marcia. And second. Joe. All in favor? That's carried.
Hey, somebody else raise your hand first next time.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just alternate, between the three of us, because I guess that we're the only ones who can do it.
Well, I can vote, but I can't make the motion or.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, any conflict of interest to declare?
No, sir.
Seeing none. Community business. I was going to discuss information to provide for the study if it ever gets going, but I think we'll wait and see what it is that they want. Yeah, Fred.
Tony, I dropped off some information a while ago now to Denise.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure it is still in existence. So if Mallory, before she leaves, could just double check to make sure, because I had a lot of information regarding the conservation area. So I just want to make sure that it's in the file so that when we do the study, that it is there already. I mean, I can make another copy of that type of reports, but I hope that it's in the files.
Okay.
So Mallory, if you could just double check and make sure that it is there.
Yeah, I will take a look. Was that emailed to her or?
No, I brought in a whole package. It's 100, 200 pages.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Okay. I was wondering if there were any things we should do in preparation. Possibly stake out locales that we want checked out in there, or I'm pretty sure. Well, we have a heritage report that Sarah gave us a while back. I don't know if everybody has that. It's a report of the heritage aspects of beaver dams and that along there. She gave that to us a year or two ago. Or maybe she just gave it to me. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have a look. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. Okay.
Okay.
And Tony, maybe she's written a book about the area too. So
Yeah.
I know you have to pay $10 or whatever for, maybe the committee should get a copy of that particular book.
We already have one.
I have a copy of that.
So do we, yeah.
And I have a copy too, but maybe there's a couple of people that don't.
I bought I bought it at the Battle of Beaver Dams event. Because she had the LACAC had the table set up and they were selling them from there.
maybe Tony, the next month, maybe for our meeting, that we logistically could just go out, not go through the whole park, but go in different areas to show how large the park really is and the different aspects of it, so that the committee has more of a in-depth look at what we're going to do as a report.
And our worldly now, President Biden is asking Congress today to
Mhm.
provide tens of thousands of
What's on in the background?
legal permanent residents of the United States. The ask was included in the Ukrainian aid request sent to Congress last week.
Sounds like the news.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I'll be right back. I've got CNN playing in the next room.
Oh.
Well, Fred, if it ever dries out and we're not up to our knees in mud, I'd be
Oh, I
more than
know.
happy to wander around out there.
That's why I said next month.
Even in the dead of summer, sometimes it's pretty muddy in there. It's
Yeah. Well, we don't have to go through the whole park. Just look at different areas of the park.
Okay, is that better?
yeah. I was wondering what we were listening
Tony, I
to.
just didn't want to say it. I thought it was Tony, and I'm like, I'll just let him go. I'll let him go. He likes to be informed.
No, not here. Okay, everybody was sent a housing affordability task force report. The title says rural and northern, that it's a rural and northern study, but if you go through toward the end, you'll see that it deals with a whole lot more than that. Basically, they're going to take away the rights of council to make any zoning decisions, almost. They'll be able to change property size or add like small houses or anything else to their property by right of ownership. Probably the most concerning to us for this is maybe the heritage aspect. I don't know if you read it, but basically they're going to stop. Council won't be able to do things like dictate style or anything like that so that it fits into a neighborhood. They won't be allowed to. So you can build anything you want in the middle of a nice old neighborhood, with beautiful old houses in it and everything. You put your stainless steel and glass 3-story piece of garbage on the property right in between them,
I think they also wanted to limit the ability to designate as heritage and make it a lot more difficult to protect buildings.
No, you won't. They won't. Not exactly. They won't be allowed. They won't be allowed. By what I read, I understand that what they won't be allowed to do anymore is to. If you go to the LACAC site, there's a list on there of properties that they feel are worthy of designation, whether they have been or not. Okay, and city council has to bear that in mind if somebody buys one of these, wants to knock it down or whatever. City council has to look at that. Well, they won't be allowed to make those kind of lists anymore.
Well, that's basically what I mean. It's
Yeah, they'll still be able to designate, but the problem is that if somebody buys a property that was designated right now, you would have to get the designation removed before you can do anything major to it that would change its character or the main aspects of the designation. under the new rules, if you were to say to them, no, you can't have a demolition permit because you want to build a sixplex on the property, the city can still do that, but they will have to pay the developer for the money that he'll lose on the sale of the sixplex. So I can't see city council stopping a whole lot of demolitions under those conditions. Because, you know, $1 million is a lot of money to Thorold City Council. Our budget just isn't that huge, to tell you the truth. If you got into a place like say Maplehurst, when they wanted to knock that down, they could have done, if they hadn't, they stopped the permit, okay? And then worked out a deal to buy it. But under the new rules, if they don't allow them to knock it down, then they're entitled to the money they could have made off of that beautiful, huge piece of property. Yeah, Fred?
Tony, as part of that act, the act, also included in that is putting, for instance, the 413 highway through lands like we're talking about here. And we want to make sure that we have the mechanisms in place so that doesn't happen, because Ford wants to pave over a lot of the, you know, green belt space, and so we want to make sure that doesn't happen. So we want to, you know, make sure it's under control and it is not impacted on the lands that we're talking about. We don't need to talk a lot about that tonight, but there's other aspects of that affordable housing plan that is included in the act that they have put through already. It's not that they're going to put it through, it's put through. And he's oh yeah, it's already through.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it is. It's already through. And that, so anyway, so we have.
So why did they allow you a comment period then?
Just to make comments, but it's already through. So anyhow.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, so essentially city council is going to lose their ability to enforce zoning bylaws. In the case of our area, it is not really officially conservation land. It's not designated as such, I don't think.
I think it's part of the green belt, but you're correct. It's probably not a conservation area yet.
No, I think it's just green space.
Yeah.
So it's particularly vulnerable because the province can roll back greenbelt anytime they want. You know, that's unfortunate.
Any comments from people on that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I read through it and I was kind of obvious what the direction was. And if you look at the 9 members on the board, 5 of them are basically real estate developers. So what a big surprise. Yeah, it does really say that whatever is good for Thunder Bay or downtown Toronto can be applied to Thorold anytime that it's going to be consistent. What they're saying is consistent. What they mean is basically no ability for local organizations to have any control over really what's going on. I mean, you look at the bakery thing there, the big kerfuffle over parking. Well, that would disappear. They wouldn't have to provide any parking at all.
No.
So
there'll be no more parking requirements.
Yeah. So it's a little unnerving that it's taking away any kind of local control or even almost any input from individuals or communities that wish to control that. And I didn't see an awful lot of it in there that actually applied affordable. It was just housing. Basically, the statement is if you build more houses, some of them might be affordable, as opposed to specifically saying build affordable houses.
Yeah, they're not really affordable by the definition of affordable. They're more like lower priced houses.
Yeah.
Which is a relative term.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my mouth shut generally because I read through the whole thing, and there's maybe 5% of it that's covered. I don't consider this to be a conflict of interest, but covered by an NDA for my time on nonprofit housing.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, and I won't say any more than that. I probably said too much.
yeah.
I mean, there are ways to do affordable housing. I mean, if you look at what the city of St. Catharines is doing in partnership with Habitat for Humanity, for example, they sold a huge development or gave allowance for a huge development that was going to have specific affordable housing. And then the developer and Habitat got together, and Habitat is going to build the affordable housing, which will be affordable. So because of the way Habitat works. So that's the kind of, I would think, options that might be available as opposed to just, okay, you know, we're just going to make everything the same color.
Yeah, in the 90s, our union was involved in affordable housing up on the mountain in Hamilton. They were working with Habitat for Humanity, and as Stelco donated the steel studding at cost, and they built a whole neighborhood there with and it meets the definition. Was it 50%? Is it, Fred? 50%?
50%. Yeah, 50%.
Yeah.
I dealt with it last night at council. The downtown area is going to be reviewed regarding affordable housing. Anyhow, Tony, we're getting a little off topic.
Yeah. I just wanted to call attention to it because it does have ramifications for our project, and it may not have, but it's just that the possibility is there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I can see potentially stuff up by the canal with a lot of that vacant land, but
Yeah. Well, as long as the green belt is still intact, there's not much they can do back there. Besides, most of it's industrial land, so it would have to be it would have to be remediated first. The other thing was the large parks report. I sent you that as well. And there are things in there that we should bear in mind when they start doing, when we get a consultant and they start doing the report on the area, such as accessibility to the greatest number of people, parking lots, and just there were other recommendations in there for uses, for instance, for wild areas, and that for indigenous purposes, for teaching, or for or perhaps for ceremonies, whatever it is that they might need to use it for. And some of those things, we should bear them in mind. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. Does anybody else have any? Yeah, Fred?
Yeah, just maybe to expound on that a little bit, is that when the city does do the study, they should take the recommendations that are included in this into consideration. Like, is our park a large park? Is it 20 hectares? I don't know. But I think the information from and what should be done with a new park, whether it becomes a provincial park, whether it becomes a federal park, whether it's just a conservation park with the NPCA, whatever it ends up being, we need to do this study in order for that to happen. And there's a lot of good information in this particular study that's very appropriate for what we want to do. So I want to make sure that that's included in the study, is this particular report.
Yeah, there was one thing, there was a table in there, it had to do with accessibility by various modes of transportation.
Transportation.
Yeah. I'm not, they didn't really deal with Thorold per se very much, but they talked about the regions mostly. And they were talking about accessible within 30 minutes. Well, there's nowhere in Thorold that isn't accessible by car in 30 minutes.
And if you noticed on their maps, our area is included on their maps.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's, as a matter of fact, I don't think there's anywhere in Thorold that isn't accessible with it by bicycle within a half an hour.
Well, maybe Tony, a motion to send this to planning staff to be included in the study.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Mhm. I'll second it. Somebody else do.
So what do you want the motion to be, Fred?
Refer the what do you call it? What do we call this?
It's the large parks report.
The large parks report to planning staff to be included in the study when it's done.
Right. Okay. So who wants to move that then?
I think Mike put.
I'll move that.
Okay.
And I seconded it.
All in favor?
Hey, Marcia, your turn next.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, I don't know if there'll be anything left, but I spoke to Jeff Holman about the duck boxes. I told him it was too late to put them out, but we would appreciate it if he could find storage for them. So he said he's going to look. Right now they're in a bit of upheaval because they're moving the operations center over to the old arena.
Okay, because I've been in contact with someone from the town. They work out of the cemetery at the moment.
With Curtis and
Probably.
Yeah. So he said I could bring them over, and we've been trying to find an appropriate time when I could do that.
Oh, okay, because Curtis said that when he finds a place for you to put them, he'll send someone over to your place to pick them up.
Mhm.
Okay, that would be fabulous. They're sitting, they're in my shed. I'm going to keep the owl box. We'll put that up ourselves, but maybe somewhere around the old canal would be more appropriate because we don't have to deal with Ontario Hydro.
Right.
Okay, if you can't find any place else, let me know. I'll have to look around for it, but I had a key for that funny looking building behind the library.
That's gone.
Is it? Oh, I haven't been by there in ages.
It's gone now.
You mean
Oh, man.
the garage has been
I
gone?
have storage space. That's not a concern. But I
Okay,
just want to make
okay.
sure that these things don't
Mhm.
get put away somewhere
Mhm.
and totally forgotten about.
Yeah.
I mean, they can put them up now if they
The
want.
problem with putting them I'm not sure they have a place to put them at the cemetery right now, because they just did a whole inventory on the condition of the buildings over there, and they didn't do well.
Okay.
No,
well,
they're all over at the new arena now already. And then they have shipping containers there for all their overstock. So it's probably safer with you right now until they get it sorted.
Okay, I can put them up in the attic of my garage or something, and they smell really great because they're all cedar, so it's not a big
Every-
problem. They're not going to go
The
anywhere.
world is in flux at the moment. Everything's
Yeah.
moving around all over the place.
Okay, but yeah, okay. I mean, it's no big deal at the moment. It's just that at some point, whoever is going to put these actually in place needs to have them physically in hand. That's all.
Right,
Okay, cool.
okay. And we can discuss with them, maybe during the winter, where to put them when the snow melts. They gotta do this pretty soon after that, eh?
Yeah.
Pretty early in the spring.
Well, I mean, you can even put them up in the fall. Nobody's going to use them over winter, so what the heck?
Mhm.
Let the boys come in and girls come in and
Yeah.
find them in the spring. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that'd be the way to go, just so you don't lose the moment in the spring.
Yes, because if
Yeah.
we have another spring like this one, where, like I said, you're up to your hips in mud half the time.
Mhm.
The issue is also the clean out port is at the front. The whole front panel comes off. Well, the front obviously has to face the water. So it needs to be in a position where you can get around in front of it to take the
Mhm.
front off to clean it out every spring.
Okay,
Hey, Mike, get your rowboat out.
Well, this is it. But, again, if you put them up and you do it in the winter, you can stand on the ice. and
That's
clean them.
right.
And they don't have to be over the water. They can actually be on the beach.
Well,
It's just that I just feel it would be difficult for the little guys to go running through that, tall grass. That's all.
yeah. Well, like I say, if you put them up in the fall or the winter, like the fall, you might end up with wasp nests or something in it, but it's not as though anything else is going to nest in them.
Well, a squirrel might try to get in there in the summer, but for the winter. But from what I've read, these guys all get along. So
Yeah, but I'd be very much in favor of putting them up fall or winter, just so we don't miss the spring again.
yes.
and I don't know whatever happened to the
Butterfly ones?
eagle nest.
Oh,
Well, the
eagle nest.
osprey.
Osprey, yeah. Mhm.
I don't know whatever happened to that. It was passed by council, and that was the last we heard of it, so. Have to bring that up again, I guess.
Yeah, that's another one that should probably go up early.
Yeah, it would be nice, it'd be best if it was in place by late March. I think that's when their big rapid migration is, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, they've been all over the lake for the last 3 weeks. So yeah, it's
Mhm. Okay, so another one to put up in the fall.
Yeah. Okay, well, when I see Jeff again, I'll talk to him about that too.
okay.
So, roundtable, Fred, you have anything else?
Yeah, just to make sure that Mallory, because she's leaving, makes a list, and on the list is the new planning staff to do an RFP study of the Lake Gibson corridor. Make that a priority, because there's $150,000 that I got through the budget for this year, and I want to make sure that at least it started this year so that we utilize 150,000. So Mallory, if you would mind putting it on your list.
Are you leaving too, Mallory?
I am, yes.
Where are you going?
I'm going to City of Hamilton.
Wow.
I live in Hamilton, so.
Well,
That makes sense.
better commute.
Yeah, yeah.
Best of, well, I wish you the best.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
absolutely.
much. Thank you.
It's getting so that I don't recognize any staff at City Hall anymore, you know?
Mhm.
We have
Yeah.
a clerk I've never even seen yet.
So other than that, Tony, that's all for me.
Okay. Joe, you have anything?
No, not really. The whole park thing, if somebody else wants to put it in the air of anybody running in the municipal or the Ontario election, I'll be working for Elections Ontario, so I can't. But other than that, no.
You mean make it an issue for the election?
Put it in the air. Let somebody else make it an issue.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Joe, actually.
Uh-huh.
Is maybe we should be, putting it in the ear of the 3 different or 4 different candidates, I guess.
Yeah.
And make them as part of an election issue, as maybe making it a provincial park. I mean,
Yeah. And even back up to the housing thing.
I know that the Liberals and the NDP have both said they would repeal that housing affordability joke.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you still want to put it in the air of the PCs, because if you believe the polls, they're likely to be the government.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, I won't comment.
I probably shouldn't have even said that or commented on that either.
No, I shouldn't either, especially not from the chair.
Hmm.
Mike, do you have anything?
No, that's an interesting point. So, because they usually have the, public meetings and stuff like that where you're allowed to raise your hand and ask a question. So that would be interesting. Other than that, no, we're good. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
And parks and that area in particular might be worth promoting in the municipal election coming up as well.
Mhm. If I may, would there be any thought, and I don't know this, and this just sort of occurred to me, of if it became a provincial park, tying it into the the park that we're adjacent to, that's not,
Bird Hills?
yeah,
No,
it's not an, what do they call it? It's not an active park, not a
no,
but just from a total land space point of view.
I think there's little to no chance of expanding provincial parks at this particular point in time.
Okay.
It might be a consideration in the future, but I think you have a much better chance of the Conservation Authority.
Okay, yeah, it not something I've thought through, just something that occurred to me while we were chatting.
Yeah, and we're not technically in the Short Hills, the property that we're on.
Yeah, just about adjacent, depending on
Yeah.
where everything comes through, but okay. Enough said.
I mean, the golf course in Font Hill is adjacent to the park too. Well, it's actually in Short Hills. So.
Mhm.
Marcia, do you have anything?
No, I'm good. I'm listening as always and learning.
Okay.
The
No,
non-thrilled person listening in.
I have nothing. I mean, we've covered pretty much everything that we've got on our plate for now. Our major thing right now is waiting for that study to go on. Yeah, and I don't see that happening anytime soon while we're playing musical chairs in the planning department.
Mhm.
no offense, but but with it turning over and new staff in there all the time, it takes time for, to get settled in and to,
Can I suggest something, Tony?
yeah,
Is that you have a little discussion with the CEO,
right.
Manoj,
Yeah.
so that when we do hire the manager of planning, that he make that a priority. All right,
I could try, but I imagine the city's priority will be catching up on planning.
that's all, that's included in it.
No, I realize that, but I think they probably have developers stacked up there,
Hmm.
Denise did leave a list for the next manager coming in.
Yeah,
And this is of course on it, so it's definitely listed as a priority for any new staff.
Great, thanks, Mallory.
yeah, because we have the money, but it's a matter of the time it takes to draw up the RFP and go through all that. Okay, so that's it for this meeting. The next meeting will be June 1st.
Okey dokey.
So,
Mhm.
Motion to adjourn?
yeah.
I
Okay,
get that one.
Okay.
okay, Marcia moves to adjourn.
Yeah, and both Joe and I will second it.
Yeah,
Okay. No, and I was pointing at Marcia. Yeah, okay,
Oh.
you can second.
okay, so we'll see you then in about 4 weeks.
Hmm.
Okay, let's hope it dries out. Enjoy your the rest of May.
Hmm.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye now. Thanks.
See you, Mallory, or not.
Bye.
Yeah. Oh, man,
Take
I was
care.
hoping to